I hate that I love this game. I hate that every second I play it, I'm filled with joy and whimsy. I hate that it makes me happy to play a real, genuinely, fully fledged game built for VR and is executed with such immaculate excellence that it's going to take years before another VR game of this scale and excellence releases. I'm being boneworked all over again. Let me explain just what I'm whining about here. Batman Arkham Shadow is a no punches pulled, full-ass VR game, and I don't say that lightly at all. I wouldn't even consider Boneworks to be a full-ass VR game, and due to the walking sim nature of Half-Life Alyx, I take a second before I even say that's a full-ass game, although ultimately I probably would say it is still. This game had me enthralled from start to finish, and I could not put it down. Despite my arms crying in pain and being extremely sore from how into the experience I was and how hard I was swinging, feeling like I was fucking Batman, funny IGN joke, hilarious, fuck you. I still got right up after my headset finished charging and got right back on the game because I could just not put it down, man. It is so goddamn good, and that sucks. That sucks because I'm going to have to go back to playing games that don't compare in terms of sheer quality. I'm going to have to go back to playing short indie games like Arizona Sunshine, and don't get me wrong, I love my indies and I love my Arizona Sunshine, but that game is 2 hours long. Batman is 17. Batman has beautiful set pieces, excellent combat, top-notch voice acting, art direction, characters, story, gameplay. Mwah! This game is a fucking masterpiece! And it's gonna be a long-ass time before a VR game can reach this quality because AAAs are borderline scared of VR profits, or more accurately, lack thereof. And I can sympathize with them a little bit because yeah, there isn't exactly a lot of hot-selling VR games, especially not at this very moment. I mean, look at this new releases fucking page. We have Batman Arkham Shadow, absolute masterpiece, and then instantly after that is Does It Stack? Arizona Sunshine Remake, Maestro, Undead Citadel, and fucking Just Dance. Again, no hate to these games, except maybe Does It fucking Stack? I don't know you, I don't really care. But you're all just not Batman. You'll never be Batman. You can never be Batman because it's the only fucking game like it. By the way, I've never played a Batman game before this one. I've never been a Batman fan. I've never cared for Batman at all. But regardless of that, I still love this game, and I still believe you should play this game. Yes, you. I'm fucking looking at you. You should play this game because it is genuinely a masterpiece. But Mini Squungle Bubble Bop, I only have a Quest 2 because the Quest 3 is $6 billion. Well, fun fact, the game actually works on Quest 2 to a certain degree. This is a bit of a side tangent, but I put a link in the description to footage of Batman running on the Quest 2, and while it's not perfect, it most definitely is a fairly playable experience, and I'd recommend you try it if you have no other way to play the game. Oh, and one more thing, you can get 10% off the game using my code in the description, so if you want to use that and give me some of your money, that'd be really sweet, kind, cute, and funny of you. Back on track though, this game is really excellent, and let me put Bruce Wayne's billionaire cock aside and out of my throat for a second here. This game is not perfect. I mean, it's almost perfect. Sorry, I had to do a little bit more glazing, but it isn't perfect. The main thing I didn't like about this game that apparently already has a patch incoming soon for it is the bugs. The game for me had a handful of strange issues and crashes that got decently annoying. No spoilers, but the most notable area that was extremely prone to crashing was a segment very close to the end of the game that I got slightly spoiled for by looking online, where I saw a post of someone saying that the game would not stop crashing at this one specific part. I eventually got to that section, and it took me at least 10 repeated tries to get through without the game crashing on me. My friend, who I later watched play the game, also crashed repeatedly, a little sooner than I did on my playthrough, and because of that, he wound up having to redo a really annoying fight sequence a couple of times, along with crashing on the part I did as well. Now it's time to talk about the obligatory, I wish it wasn't a VR exclusive comments. I get it, exclusives suck. I hate them too, most people do. But what I don't think is fair is that if this game was to launch as a PlayStation exclusive, it wouldn't get nearly as much backlash as it launching as a Quest 3 exclusive, and I don't think that's fair. Why is it only okay to have an exclusive if it's not a VR game? Why is it when that happens, those are called system sellers, but when this happens, it's called bullshit? Now, I personally don't like exclusives on consoles either, but I understand the need and importance for them. It's not fair to get mad at this game being a VR exclusive, because this game can only work in VR. If it was to have a dual release on both flat screen and VR, it would be two entirely different games, and if they weren't fundamentally extremely different than one another, then one of them would straight up suck. So then you're probably wondering, why don't they just do two separate games with the same story and extremely fundamental gameplay then? Well, that's a lot of work. I don't think enough people understand that making a video game is a grueling task. Making a VR game is an even harder task, and making both is downright impossible. The team behind this game excels at making VR games. They don't excel at making flat games. They can't just do both, and even if they could, it would take so much longer to basically make the game 2 times. This team wanted to make a game that could only be appreciated in a different medium like VR. So that's what they did. That's what they made. Getting upset at VR as a whole is like being upset that we got a new Batman movie instead of a new game, and being mad at movies as a whole. They are different experiences, and not all movies should be games. Not all games should be in VR, and not all VR games should be on flat screen. This is one of them. I can see how it's hard to understand such a thing if you've never played VR before, but look at it this way. Imagine you've never played a video game before in your life and you just watch movies, and your favorite franchise gets a new piece of media and it's only for video games. You'll likely be upset that it isn't a movie like you're used to, but if you actually got to experience the game, even if it meant buying a new console to do so, you'd probably love it and maybe even gain a new appreciation for video games as a whole. VR is the same way. So many people are missing out on this entire new realm of excellent experiences because they're scared to peek outside of what they're comfortable with. But if they never took that leap of faith with video games and really sat down and learned how to use a controller, or if they never watched a movie because they didn't want to sit still and just watch something, they would never have been able to enjoy the probably thousands of experiences they have today, and that's sad. This is an exclusively VR game, not for the sake of being a system seller, but because it is the best medium in which this experience works, and because a passionate team wanted to make something in this format instead of a different one, and there shouldn't be any hatred towards that at all. It being exclusive to the Quest 3 and not releasing for PC VR is a way different story though, because that is the same medium. That could work over there and could even do it better. So in that regard, people being upset about it not launching on PC VR is completely understandable, although I still understand the need for exclusives, and that's coming from probably the only person on earth making a video about Batman who wasn't given a Quest 3S or copy of the game to them for free from Meta. That about wraps up my thoughts about this beautiful game and this wonderful medium. Thank you so much for coming by, and don't forget to cop that 10% link if you plan on buying the game, so you can save your precious dollars. Bye-bye.